There. So I know a lot of you have been asking how to add content to your course that will also enable you to add it to the gradebook at the same time. So I found a fairly comprehensive, somewhat easy way to do that. I think it really is the best. So you're going to go to first make sure you're in the teacher mode. I was in student mode right now. So make sure you're in teacher mode. And then when you're in teacher mode, use tools and go to course admin. When course admin loads, you will go to the course builder under site resources. And then this is where you basically can build and add content to your course. So there's two different parts of the course builder. There is build the outline, which is basically the containers that hold your content. So each one of these gray boxes is basically a container, and that container will hold whatever information you choose to put in it, whether that be a quiz, different types of files, PDFs, PowerPoints. So you want to pick the correct container or module to hold your content. So if you want to add a PDF file or a Word document or a PowerPoint, you'll want to select this option right here, the file option. This will allow you to upload any one of those types of files. The bubbles right here are to add discussion boards. So again, this would be creating a placeholder for a discussion board. This little box right here is for Dropbox. So again, you'd be creating an empty shell to add your Dropbox item to, or the question mark is an empty shell that you can add a quiz to. If you would like to add a whole new placeholder in here, then you would want to select the book option, which is a module. I added modules in my course in order to easily add events to it. Really, the choice is kind of up to you what you want to do. For instance, here, if I expand my first unit here, I can choose to either add a file placeholder directly under this module, and all I did was click on it and drag it here. If I do that, it'll create a box and ask me to title that file. So you can title it whatever the assignment is going to be. So we'll just title this Reading 1.02. You can add a description there and then click Create. So that first step, all I've done is I've created a place to upload my file to. Okay, so this is simply just a placeholder to hold the content. Notice it'll say drag a file here, or if you look over here on the right hand side of the screen, this actually pops up the box that enables you to edit and add content here. So because, remember, I selected a file placeholder, what I can do with this placeholder is add a file, so any type of file. And all I do to add a file or a content to this placeholder is to click the Add File button. And then I can select to either upload file directly from my computer. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'll select a random file here. Go to my documents, find whatever course you want, whatever document you want. So in this case, I'm going to upload a Word document. Click Upload. You'll see once it's uploaded there, and then click Add. So now what we've done is we've created a place to put our information, and now we've added information here. So now when we open this placeholder in the course content, that full Word document I just uploaded will be there. Okay, so that's how you add content to that document. Now remember, if we want to add an assignment and we want to tie it to the Dropbox, you have to either select quiz or Dropbox or discussion. I found that you can't link a file to the gradebook. It actually has to be either a Dropbox assignment a quiz assignment, or a discussion board. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll show you how to do that as well. How I added quizzes is I did it one of two ways. I either created a module, or if I want a quiz to go in Unit 1, all I would do is grab the quiz placeholder, drop it there, title my quiz. Remember what you title it, so let's title this 1.02 reading quiz, and then click create. Now remember, all I've done is created a placeholder, a place to hold my quiz information. So now what I want to do is make sure that placeholder is highlighted, and again, right over here, you've got options to either create a new quiz or edit the placeholder. Editing the placeholder simply allows you to edit the title and add any other descriptive information. So if you actually want to add a new quiz to the placeholder, you want to click on New Quiz. Really, you want to do it from here because this is how you can also add your new quiz here and directly add it to the gradebook. So you'll want to name your quiz. For me, I named it the same thing as I named my placeholder, 1.02 reading quiz, just to keep it simple. You can add a description here if you'd like. And then this is the step that enables you to add it to the gradebook. So if you'd like to add it to the gradebook all in one step and not have to go back to the gradebook and complete a second step, this is the area that you do that. It's called Graded Item, and what you want to click on is this little link called New Grade Item. So when you click on that grade item, it's going to load you into another window. Again, you'll want to type whatever name you want to appear in the gradebook. I highly suggest that you keep it the same name as your placeholder and as your quiz, so that when everything's linked, it's the same. What the kids see in the lesson you've created, the quiz you've created, is the same as what they see in the gradebook. So add that title in. That'll be the name that appears in the gradebook. The category relates to the unit or category where you want it to be placed in the gradebook. So in this case, since I'm creating this quiz in Unit 1, I would select Unit 1. You can add again a brief description. Here you can add however many points you want that quiz to be worth. So if it's 10 questions, you want each question to be worth 1 point, you'd put in 10 points. Here it gives you a couple other options in the gradebook. Exclude from final grade. You guys are familiar with that. One thing, make sure that the grade defaults scheme, I haven't done this in this course yet, but is set to Idaho Virtual Academy. And you can go in and set that in the defaults in your gradebook so that it's set for everything. So make sure that says Idaho Virtual Academy or IDVA grade scheme. And then make sure the grade item is always visible. I wouldn't set date ranges here simply because it's, I think, more beneficial to do that in the calendar section. And then you will click create. So what I'm doing now is I just created a corresponding quiz grade in the grade book. Oh, one last thing I did want to note is make sure you click active on here. That will make the status of the quiz active for students, active both in the grade book and in there. So now I've created a placeholder and I've also linked it to the grade book. When you see this little sign right here, that means you successfully linked this assignment to the grade book. Okay, so all I've done here is I've added a placeholder and I've added a quiz there, and then I've linked it to the gradebook. I don't need to do anything else in the gradebook. As long as I set all of my points to be correct, everything should correspond both from the course content directly to the gradebook. Now, one thing that is interesting is from here, you cannot add questions to your quiz. This is simply to build the quiz within the content. So this is on the content side. If you want to add questions to your quiz, now that it's all set up and linked to the gradebook, you're going to go back here to Tools, and then you'll click on Manage Quizzes. and then you'll find your quiz that you created. So here, again, this is the quiz that we just created, 1.02. I'll highlight that for you guys. So down here. Okay. So you can do a couple different things here. You can edit it in place. You can preview it. You can delete it. You can grade it. Again, all of that part of it. If I just click on it, it will open the window to allow me to set any of my restrictions or anything that you want up here. But most importantly, if you haven't assigned it a category, it'll allow you to assign a category, and this is where you can add your quiz questions. So once you've gone through and created all of your quizzes in the course builder, then you can simply just add your questions here. Make sure that when you add your questions, and I'll click on this so that you can see, you can select either a new question, true, false, multiple choice, or import them if you already have a course in the quiz set up that you want to select some of the questions from. I build all of mine from scratch, so I always have to select a new type of question. When you select that new type of question, you don't need to enter a title for it. Make sure that the point value right here matches whatever you set up in the grade book. So if you were thinking, okay, each question is going to be worth 2 points, make sure you enter that here. And then this is where you'll put your actual test question. And then if you scroll down, you can choose to either have your questions set out vertically or horizontally. And I picked horizontally for most of mine because that's just my preference. And then in selecting the correct answer, one thing I noticed, in order for an answer to be registered as correct when you enter these, you have to enter the value of the correct answer as 100. So that means students will receive 100% credit on that question. It's the weight value that they'll receive when they select it. If you don't add 100% to this, it's not going to know what is the correct answer, and it won't necessarily award all of the credit for a correct answer. And then you have some options here at the bottom when you add those questions to either save it, save in new if you want the same type of question, or to preview the question and see what it's going to look like before you actually save it. So that's how I went about creating my quizzes in my class and adding content. One thing I did find is if you have content that you would like to use over and over, so say for instance I want to use the same kind of placeholder here over and over, you can copy the placeholder and then paste it in other parts of your course builder as well. So again, I had an assignment that's a reoccurring vocabulary assignment, and I was able to at least copy the placeholder and then fill that placeholder with the same content. So that's another thing that I discovered as well. Hopefully this helped any of you that were wondering how to add content to your course. If you find another way that you feel is a little bit easier or a shortcut, feel free to email that to all of us. I hope you guys are all having a great first week.